Hello, so welcome to my presentation about STOIC automation testing. At the beginning, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Maroš Kutschy, and my mission is automation testing at NES Digital Engineering. I'm located in city Kutschy in Slovakia, and you can see here my LinkedIn profile when you can reach me out, and also link to my automation framework, which I will use during today's presentation. Let's look at the agenda of my presentation. So at the beginning, I will talk about Stoicism as a way of thinking, and then I will try to place it in between hard skills and soft skills. Then I will choose 10 Stoic principles, which I think we can apply in automation testing. And then at the end, some summary and, of course, Q&A. So maybe you know Stoicism from school, and you're thinking that it is just a boring, ancient theory, and that it couldn't be applied in life now and in testing, on automation testing. Same it was for me, but then I started to read some books, and I found out that it's not so boring, and that it's not so theoretical, but it tries to answer on practical questions in life. And I was thinking if we can apply it somehow in our work, like automation engineers. And today I will share the results with you. I will focus on Roman Stoicism and 3 Stoic authors, like you can see on the slide. The first one is Seneca. And Seneca was one of the richest men in Rome, and he wrote many books. Maybe the most known is Letters to Lucilius. Another Stoic is Epictetus from this age, and he was at the beginning the slave, but then he became a Stoic teacher in Rome, and he never wrote any book, but his students took notes of his speeches, and we can read them now like discourses by Epictetus. And the last one, and maybe the most known, is Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and the most influential person on the world in that time. And he just wrote diaries for himself, which were never meant to be published, but they preserved, and we can read them now like meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Like automation engineers, we know that we should be good at technical skills or the hard skills. We should be good at programming language, for example, Java, if you are using Java. We should very good to know some automation tool, like, for example, Selenium, or some BDD tool, like Cucumber, CI/CD tool, Jenkins, and so on. On the other hand, we should be good at soft skills or the core skills, how somebody would say, and we should be good team players, we should be good leaders, we should well communicate. But is there any way how to connect everything together and have some framework over it? And maybe the answer is the way of thinking, like philosophy, and here comes the Stoicism. So let's look at the first principle from Epictetus, and he wrote that the chief task in life is to identify and separate matters for which we can say which are external, out of our control, and which of them are internal, under our control. And maybe this is the most important Stoic principle, which is saying that we should focus on the things which we can change and don't focus on the things which we cannot change. Like we cannot influence the weather if it will be good or bad, and if we are stuck at the airport, there's no point to argue with the employee of the airport, or we cannot influence if somebody likes us or not. But what we can change is how we react to the situations, how we think, and how we work on ourselves. So let's look at the okay. Here is the video. I'm not sure why it's not displayed. Because we have tried it and it was working okay.
So where is it?
Okay, it should play now. But
Should it?
okay. What does it mean?
It's loading.
Loading. Yes, because we are connected via a PowerPoint online, so maybe some network connection problem.
Yeah, it hasn't got Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi is not working, maybe.
Try to connect with, should be like stream C or something. No, this one.
Stream C.
Yeah? Oh, sorry, yeah.
Can't
Ooh.
connect to this network.
So we have, here is the password. Okay, so we can do that.
Okay, so sorry for technical interruption, but we will continue in a second. Connecting. Connected. Okay. Okay.
Is it alive?
Huh? No.
Yeah, it is playing.
But here it's not. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we can see it here in the computer, but not here. So we'll try to solve it. Here it is. Okay. Okay. Od běžného slajdu. Okay. Yes, but we need to go to full screen, right? Here. Okay.
Okay, and now press the button.
Okay, so I'm also learning Polish during this presentation from PowerPoint. Okay, so it's going probably. Yes, so I have also some videos during my presentation. Yes, so we were talking about this principle that we cannot influence, for example, the bugs which will be introduced by developers. So this is out of our control, but we can focus on our framework, like you can see here, Java Selenium Cucumber framework, and we can, for example, use, except some Selenium functional testing, also visual UI testing, like we can use Percy from Browser Stack or Applitools Eyes from Applitools, and not test just the functionality, but also how application is looking and comparing the screenshots, the baseline screenshots from the first run with actual screenshots. Another thing which we can influence in our framework is, like you can see here, API testing via Karate framework, which we can integrate into our framework. And for example, for testers which are not skilled in programming language, can very easily use this tool just to write Gherkin steps, and all the Java stuff is coming from the library, like you can see here. Or if we are using Cucumber and Jenkins, we can install to our Jenkins Cucumber plugin and very easily display Cucumber Gherkin, like simple plain text. And also for example, for business people, if they're asking what tests we have, we can just show them. Another thing is, if we have challenges in analysis of automation test results, we can use some tool, like you can see here, report portal.io, which is using machine learning or an artificial intelligence to help us with doing automatic analysis. So at the beginning, we manually divide the failures into categories like product bug, automation bug, or system bug. And then next days, when same failure with same stack trace will come to the system, it will automatically assign, according to historical data, the status for your failures. And for example, if you had yesterday 20 failures, you have done manual analysis, now you have 25 failures. These 20 failures which are same, will be automatically categorized, and you just focus on the new failures, these 5 new, for example. Let's try it once more, if it will be working. Hopefully, yes. Yes, I made things complicated because I included videos.
So do you want to
go to next slide?
Next slide, okay.
Yes. Okay, here. Okay, thank you.
One?
Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you for assistance. So next one is from Epictetus, who wrote that don't let the force of impression carry you away, but say to it, hold a little bit and let me see who you are, where are you from, and let me put you to the test. As humans, we have our mind has a special feature that many times we judge people and judge things according to very quickly some previous experience, and maybe not always these split-second decisions are the best way. Maybe sometimes we should think about it from different angle, perspective, and maybe we will find better solution. Okay, so let's look again, I have a report from Karate Framework, and imagine that you have the feature where you have 2 scenarios, and both of them started to fail on API scenarios on the step where we are checking response code expected 400, some negative scenario, and in the first one, we see like actual is 200, and maybe we can think, okay, the second one is the same. I don't need to look at it, but if you look at it, we see that there is different like actual response code. So maybe the reason behind it is different, and maybe the fix of the first problem will not fix the second one. So this is how we can apply it. If we have many failures, just look at each failure to see if it is really connected or not connected to our expected, for example, Jira ticket. Okay, next slide. Where is the mouse? Here, okay, okay. Yes, yes, it's okay. Thank you. Another one is from Marcus Aurelius, and he wrote that if you find something very difficult to achieve, don't think that it's impossible. If something was doable by other person, it can be for sure achievable also by you. And here, if we are talking about success of other people and how we react to this success, we can divide people to 2 groups. The first one will say, he was successful, but why not me? So they are thinking that there is always winner, loser, and there is not enough things in the world. And then we have another group of people which will say, okay, he was successful, so what can I do in order I'm also successful? So there is like winner-winner approach, and there is many things in the world for everybody. And we could use the second approach. Again, I have prepared something from, again, a report portal, but imagine that you have friends in other companies or colleagues in your company on different projects which were successful in implementing some new tool, like for example here, the report portal, and maybe you are thinking that, okay, they were successful, but it looks very complicated, what do I need to do? So, but if we use this approach, we will try, okay, what should we do? So maybe it's not so complicated. If we are using Maven, just maybe update some Maven dependency, then we need some introduce property file where are connections to our instance of report portal application. Then if we are using Cucumber with JUnit Java, just add some line of the code into Java Runner, maybe extend some library which comes from the creator of the tool, and then just install Docker and download the container of the application. And when it is running, we can start running the tests and pushing data into application, run from either IntelliJ locally or from Jenkins, and start using these features, which will, as we mentioned, will help us with this auto analysis and using machine learning and artificial intelligence in this tool. Okay. So next one is from, again, Marcus Aurelius, and he wrote that don't let the reflection of the whole sweep of life crush you, and don't fill your mind with all the bad things which could happen, but stay focused on the present situation. So maybe, again, you know situations from your life when you were challenged and you were successful in doing some complicated task, but maybe it was because you were not thinking about all the problems which could appear, but you focus on just one task, small task, one step at the moment. And again, in automation testing, how we can apply this. So again, imagine that we have task to create like complex API scenario where you connect more endpoints, and maybe the output from the response from one endpoint will be the input of another request. So maybe you will think about it that it's not possible to do, and it's very hard to do, and how will I do it? Where should I start? But if we apply this principle, so maybe we can break it up in more smaller scenarios. And if we are using, yes, this is again example of Karate framework implemented in this Java Selenium framework from my Git repository, which you can try. So just we add this dependency for Karate framework. We don't need to write any Java code. We just write these text files, as you can see, in simple English, and write the API steps. So at the beginning, in the Cucumber, in the background, which will run before each scenario, we can write some link to our application, and then just according to this principle of STOIC, just focus on one step at one time. So write the link to the application, then endpoint, like we have the user's endpoint, and then what we can choose the method which we will call, like get method, and do some assertions. So I'm thinking about assertion. Okay, so I will check response code, and then maybe I can validate something from the response. So we look to the Postman, and in Postman we will also see the link to our application, which is there with the endpoint, the get method, and in the response we can focus on some data which we will validate. So again, we will not at the moment think about how will I do another part of the test, but just focus on this one step and go from one by one, and maybe by this way you can create very nice end-to-end scenarios. Another one is from Seneca, and maybe this could be controversial, but let's look at this and discuss the details. So he wrote that let us prepare our minds as we would come to the very end of our life. Let us postpone nothing, and let us balance our life's books each day. So maybe from the first sight it may look that, yes, it is the last day of our life, so we will break all the laws and do all the things which we couldn't do. But maybe it's not like this, meant like this. There is a saying that we should each day live like it is our last, like many people say it, but few are living according to it. And imagine, for example, soldiers which go to the war, and they never know if they will come in one piece. So they try to put things into order, say how they love their families and so on. So same for us, like automation engineers, what we can do with this. So imagine we have like Jira board, you know, Jira board, and you have one task which is, okay, running?
For some reason,
Okay.
you only see.
I only see the running video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now it's alive.
Okay, now it's alive. Okay, thank you. Yes, so there is one task or more tasks which are easy, like maintenance of some tests, and we know what we will do, so we will pick them. And there is another task which is more complicated, like again, I will use doing some example of report portal we should do a proof of concept of integration of some complicated tool in our framework. So you never know what will happen next day or next week. So maybe you are the only expert who can do this stuff. So no point to hesitate, do it now. And maybe you will find out that you have postponed it from one sprint to another sprint. But when you start looking at it with this mindset, maybe you will find out that it was not so complicated and you can do it in half a day, 1 day, or maximal 2 days. And this can help all the team to be more effective and be better also for your company. We have another principle, and it's from Seneca. And he wrote that many times, and the old man has no other evidence beside his age to prove he has lived a long time. Yeah, so if somebody asks us for how long are we here, so we will count the years, multiply by days, and then by hours, and we get some number. But the question is, if we have used our full potential in our life, and the question is if we could do better. Okay, not working. This button.
I don't know.
Okay. Not moving. No.
The secret. Okay. For some reason, the mouse must be hovered over this.
Okay. The mouse must be hovered. Okay, I will know. Okay, so I will go to the beginning. No, to the beginning. Okay. Yes. Mouse is here. Okay. Thank you again. So maybe you are the person who has special skills, and maybe also other people could use it. So we can create, for example, as automation engineers on some portal, some courses for other people, or if we have some code which can be published and reused by other people, we can help them to save some time, to create some Git repository to share it, or maybe like this example of Test Automation University by ApplyTools, where people who have experience are sharing their knowledge, and other people can start learning from it and use the examples and also improve their skills. So from this principle, maybe we can use it that also in our company, maybe we can create some QA communities, and if we are working on different projects and we don't have any contact like each day, maybe we can create this community through the company and share the knowledge and help each other. Another principle is from Marcus Aurelius, and he wrote to his diaries that don't lament and don't get agitated. So yes, there could be situations where you will say, for example, that yes, it's very bad, and I don't want to come to work next day. But yes, these days may come, but we should know that we will be okay. And yes, I will hover mouse here in order it's moving. Yes, it's moving. Nice. So imagine yesterday all all the results were green, but the next day you come to work and you see you have over 100 failures. So we will say, okay, I will not look at it for sure, tomorrow it will be better. You come next day to work and you again see these 100 failures. So no point to wait, you need to look at it, but maybe you look at the report portal, Jenkins, and you see the same failures. So what to do now? So we should know that it will be okay. So maybe just start looking at these failures, and if you look at some of them, maybe you will find out that there is like common reason, that you see some patterns and stack traces, and maybe after a couple of minutes you will find out, okay, it seems there are 2 bugs, so let's ask developers to fix these 2 bugs, deploy to an integration environment, run the test again, and maybe from these 100 failures you will have just 50. You start looking just to these remaining 50 failures and you will find out, oh, okay, so 2 days ago I made some refactor in my framework and this could cause this problem. So again, you fix the framework, run the test again, and you will see that, oh, okay, I have just 2 failures. So at the beginning it might look bad, but if you focus on your work, and you will find out that it's easy to fix the failures. This one is from Epictetus, and Epictetus is talking about some other person that he was sent to prison, but the observation that he has suffered evil is just addition coming from you. And this is also one of the Stoic principles, that the things are not bad or good, but things are just they are, and it's only our understanding and our response to the things if we consider them bad or good. Like, for example, Steve Jobs founded Apple, but then he was fired from his company. So if we ask what is bad or good, yes, maybe it was bad, but then he founded a company Next bought Pixar, and Pixar became the best animation studio in the world. And then operating system from Next was bought by Apple, and then Steve Jobs became the hero in Apple, producing iPods, iPhones, and iPads. So was it bad or was it good? Hard to say. It depends how you understand the situation. Again, we have a Jira board here. And yes, imagine you have the last day of the sprint and still 4 tickets to do. 1 ticket is for maintenance of some scenario, so update scenario. Second one, maybe doing some proof of concept for some tool. Another ticket, maybe creation some new scenario in your framework. And the last ticket is fixing some problems on Jenkins, some problem with Jenkins node. So it might look bad that you have like all stuff to do and no time to finish it, but maybe it could look bad at the beginning, but when you start to taking the tickets in progress and looking at it and splitting the work between the team, you will find out that it was possible to do, and at the end of the day, you may consider that you found some skills in your team which you didn't know that there were, and it will strengthen you and make you more effective in future. This one is from Epictetus, and he wrote that we must undergo a hard winter training and not rush into things for which we haven't prepared. And he's referring to way how wars were maintained in the past, like the soldiers were fighting during the summer, and then it's not like now that we have total war running always, but they stopped before the winter, then soldiers were sent to home, and then when spring came, they again started to fight. And he's talking about this period when they were during the winter, like pause, and like soldier is always the soldier, so he must train also during this winter interruption. So same for us as automation engineers, what we can, how we can learn from it. So we know that, yes, we are automation engineers. Yes, sorry, I forgot on this, hovering, thank you. So we are automation engineers, and we should be always automation engineers. So we should always increase our skills, like when we are working with Java, maybe it's good to put in our calendar each morning like a blocker that first time when we come to work, we will focus on some training, like yes, personal development, but this time about technical skills. So for example, for in our team, we are using Pluralsight, and yes, we are learning Java. Then we are using Selenium, but we are also trying to learn new things like Playwright, for example, or Cypress, to be in touch with all the technologies which are on the market. And yes, as many people are now using cloud technology, so maybe something about AWS. But it's important for, I think, to have it in the calendar, and at least for a couple of minutes each day study something, and break it in like more days or each day, and not leave it like on Friday afternoon for 2 hours I will study, because it will be never time for it. Some important issues will come. So maybe this is how we can apply this principle. We are not the soldiers, but we are engineers, and we should improve ourselves. Okay, and this is the last one. Maybe a little bit connected, like previous one. It's about, from Marcus Aurelius, about comparing life to some sports. And he wrote that the art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, because life requires to be prepared for sudden and unexpected attacks. So yes, the wrestlers, they must be always prepared, but also in real life, we are being challenged. There could come some stressful situations during our work, and therefore we should be prepared. And how we can prepare for it? Yes, we should be prepared, I think, also mentally and also physically. And again, what can help us is, yes, put in the calendar, it's the best way, but maybe right in the morning, do some meditations, or at a couple of minutes, just be in rest and think about more things, some music. Meditation music can help us. And then before starting the work, maybe do some physical exercise, running, or go to gym, maybe find some gym nearby, which is opened very early, and try to go there. And make it a habit, again, so always it's important that not just once per week go there, but maybe it's second day, but make it a habit, at least for a couple, maybe for half an hour, but this could help to be prepared for the challenges will come during the day, and maybe better react to them. And also some personal development, maybe some, I know that we are automation engineers, but maybe we should also maybe read some books of personal development, or if not reading books, then just have some audiobooks. And when we are traveling to work and back to work, we can use this time for listening to some books there and improve us also in other things, just the technical skills. So this was the last principle. So what could be the couple of takeaways from the presentation? So don't focus on developers, how many bugs they introduce, but focus on a framework and try to introduce tools of various type of testing. Then believe that you can, if somebody created some successful proof of concept of some tool, you can also do it. And do not postpone the things, do the hard things today. Believe that even if there are dark times, many failures, you can solve them and it will be okay. And prepare for the day before the day starts by some maybe meditation or some exercise or reading some books. And the resources which I used, yes, are the books from Marcus Aurelius, from Epictetus, from Seneca, and there is also maybe the best start, because maybe at the beginning these books are hard to read, from Ryan Holiday. He is the recent author. He wrote books like Ego is the Enemy or Obstacle is the Way, and very good is this is the Daily Stoic, where you have for each day some quote and some explanation. And he has also a very good YouTube channel and a blog. So maybe this is the best way to start with. And yes, this was my last slide. And now, if there are any questions, we can go to Q&A. So thank you very much for now.
Okay, thank you, Maroš, for all that inspiring and motivational stuff you presented. Definitely worth to consider adding that to our daily routine. So, yeah, thank you, Maroš. So let's thank Maroš with some bravos.
Thank you.
And then a question, anyone willing to raise a hand and ask any question? So maybe let me ask a question, Maroš. So just for my curiosity, so as I prepared that in the meantime, so how or where actually did you get the first idea to connect IT and philosophy? Because as I said in the beginning, these two things, at least at the beginning, they don't align, they don't seem to be aligned with each other. And how did you get that relation?
Yes, I started to read some books, and I was thinking about, yes, can I apply it? I know that from school it was just some boring stuff, but then when I started to read it, I realized maybe it's good to use it also during the work. And also, yes, there could be connections between, because many people are thinking that we are just IT guys, we don't care about some soft skills and some books, but I like, for example, I mentioned Steve Jobs. He was trying to connect IT and some art, like all the Apple products at the time were some with John Ivey, the designer. They worked together to produce not just good technology, but also good design and good for people. So it was nice to me to see that we can connect various parts of our life. So yes.
So it's worth to find deeper context of these aspects, not only focus on the technical side.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
Thanks. And another question from my side, so regarding your proposed day schedule, so do you personally practice philosophy at your work? So do you find a free spot in your calendar to spend, I don't know, 30 or 1 hour, 30 minutes or 1 hour to do so?
Yes, we started in our team to, yes, we are using Pluralsight, for example, and we have we are using it for example, Java Club now, that we have a couple of meetings twice or 3 times per week, where we together just meet for a couple of minutes. We say what we will learn for next day, and then everybody is studying independently. And next day we connect again, and we talk about the problems or some questions, and then we decide what we will learn till next day. And we have prepared like this for AWS certificate. Now we are preparing for Java certificate. So it's hard, and it's best to have it early in the morning, because if you have it in the afternoon, some blockers, some problems could come. But if you have it as the first thing at the day, so you can do it.
But no earlier than the first cup of coffee, right? Because
yes.
Otherwise it might
Exactly.
not efficient as planned. All right, then again, anyone from the audience? All right, seems not. So again, thanks Maroš for unique topic. Nobody expected to do so. So Thank you, Maroš, and right. So that would be it for that part. We'll meet again at 3 p.m. Just to remind you that there is still a book contest still ongoing till end of the day. So use that opportunity. There are still some free codes to be given whenever you spot that unique phrase during slide set. And yeah, that's it for now. So talk to you again 3 p.m.